sorry, I'm trying to, I think it doesn't allow me to edit, but it's fine. This figure of 127,230, you can disclose it under on your credit side as your profit and loss account. Why are you doing that? Is because this is a profit and loss item. You are showing me that you're going to disclose this under your profit and loss account. Everybody happy?
Yes.
Right, let's have a look at the realization account itself. I'm going to reiterate on that one because repeat is important. I do this to determine my profit or loss, okay? And if my debit side is greater than my credit side, it means that I made a disposal on a loss. And the vice versa would be if my credit side is greater than my debit side. It means I made a profit, okay?
Yes.
Then you're going to move your 23562. Yeah, this amount looks a bit too much. I think it's 2 million. Maybe it's supposed to be 235,666. I put the 8 by mistake, sorry. Okay, so can you see that I had the trade payables control account on the debit side?
Yes.
Okay. Remember when I told you at the beginning that we bought that tractor C on credit?
Yes.
Okay. Remember, if you've got a car and then you owe the bank becomes your creditor.
Your creditor.
In their books as the bank, which we're not interested in what they do, they're going to put you as part of the debtors.
Yes.
Okay. But on our side, we're going to have it as trade payables control account. Right, but here's the thing. Why do you see that on the credit side? Because the payables, it's a liability, and the liabilities increases on the credit
side.
Okay. Not, we haven't paid a cent out of that. That's why we took 425 plus 150,000 rand to make it 575,000. Okay. The accumulated depreciation, it amounted to 162,680, right? And then the cost of the tractor, remember the original cost of the tractor, which is tractor B, it's 500,000 rand.
Yes.
Okay. But one of the accounting students would say, but why is it on the debit side? It's on the debit side simply because it's an asset. An asset increases on the debit side. You remember the principles?
Yes.
The basic accounting equation principles. Right. Then we realized that our credit side is greater than our debit side, and then we ended up with the profit that we made, meaning that 235,628. Sorry, guys, I made a mistake on that one with the 8. 235,626. It will be transferred under your statement of profit and loss and OCI as income. Happy?
Yes.
Everybody. All right, please do ask me questions because that brings us to the end of the questions. Anybody with a question, you're more than welcome to raise it. Questions? Questions? Right. If you want to refer on this this question, you can email me or you can call me, and then I will send you the questions and the solution. I don't have a problem with that, and I can send you at any time. Otherwise, it's more similar to question 70 in your Part 1 or 2. Make sure that you do that question as well. Okay. It's not different to that one. It's exactly the same. You just have to do that. Unless if you're failing to understand something on it, you're more than welcome to actually email me or call me, and then I'll be able to assist you further on that one. Okay, can I wrap up?
Yes.
Can I wrap? People are not comfortable. People don't sound comfortable. Don't worry, you'll get
Hello,
there.
sir.
You'll get there. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, can you please?
You said it's question 17 where?
Let me check quickly on my, if we can look at tab 102. Just a moment. Yeah, it's question 17 on tab 102. Can I give you the page number?
Yes. Yes,
right,
please.
page number is
Yes, sir.
Right. It's gonna be on page 51 of tab 102.
Thank you.
Happy?
Oh.
Well,
Yes, sir. Happy. Can we have your email address?
I beg your pardon?
Can we have the email address in terms of inquiries? Because we don't know where to find the email address as we never had the link for FSC.
Oh, you never had this link.
Oh, we send it via WhatsApp groups just now.
Oh, sorry about that. Unfortunately, I was not coordinating that part, but I think I'll speak with them so that they are aware of how you didn't get your, what is it?
Oh, so you can just add us to your chat because we don't even have FSC on chat.
Come again, please. I didn't get that part.
Can you please add us on your team because we don't have for FSC?
This one.
Yeah, so that when you conduct, we'll be able to participate.
I'm not sure if I follow.
Okay, sir. What I'm saying is, can you add us so that when FSC classes are about to start, we can be able to participate? We don't have FSC group.
Yeah, but this okay, the access for this group is only available for 2 hours. It cannot go beyond that. I don't know if that answers your question.
All right, no problem.
It cannot go beyond that. This is the only time this is the only time where you can participate, or unless if you what is it? You email me and then I'll be able to give you the answer. Can everybody see this email?
Yes.
Is it clear, or should I increase the slides?
Now clear.
Very clear.
It's very clear.
Yes.
Yep.
But the resources here, we can make it much more clear, much more clearer. Okay. Right, it's like I was 1920 live to see the UK, and let's see. You know why am I quiet? Because I forgot my password number. I forgot my number for the WhatsApp, but the email should be sufficient, I think. Right, you got it, right?
Yes.
So, let's see the. Is there anything else that you need clarity on now? On this?
Is it possible that you can post what you did today on my teams? Put in the files on my team so that we can download them.
Please come again.
Is it possible that you can put the files on my team so that we can download them? That which you did today, the question and the answers.
I think that's highly possible because this class is actually recorded. So I'll speak with my IT team and then they can put it on Teams, and then you can have it as and when you need it.
Thank you.
That should be possible. Thank you for clarifying that. Okay. Let me not confirm whether they are allowed to actually can share it, or is it for internal purposes or what? But I think I'll just make sure that I what is it? Let me write your queries down. So let me write your queries down so that I don't forget. Okay. You need. I'm gonna be with you just now. Just one at a time.
Mr. Mesa, it's Dr. Methania.
Hi, Doc. How are you?
No, I'm fine. I was just listening to all the questions the student asked, and I wrote a message on the chat box there. But what I want to say is that you rightfully said that this recording was this session will all the sessions this week will be recorded.
All right.
And then all the students, the Florida students, were invited via their My Life email account. The links are also on the tiny URL which I put in the chat box just now. So you can go to that link and then that specific tinyurl.com, and you will find the links there for every day. Does that answer your questions?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thanks, Mr. Mesu.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Mutin. All right, guys, just to clarify that if you need this communication or if you need, an invite with regards to the teams for the classes during this week, they're all available under the My Life account. So everybody else should have access to your My Life account and then you will get it. To those who were complaining earlier or were raising a question to say that they did not receive the link, they got it in the WhatsApp group. Did you check with your My Life account? Look, it's easier for the university to send it to everybody with the My Life account simply because it's difficult for them to actually can send it to your private emails. That's why it's so difficult for them to actually can do that. But My Life is actually on the system. So that's my assumption that's why they send it via to everybody. Sorry, to My Life, via My Life to everybody. Okay, so I think that should be clear. Make sure you check your My Life account and make sure that you did receive the team invite. Okay, and sorry, Dr. Mutin, can I talk to you more for a minute? I'm not sure if you can hear me. But is it possible that there could be some students who did not receive this communication via the My Life account?
If they haven't registered on their My Life account, they wouldn't have received it. That's why I put that HTTP tiny URL address on the chat box of this class so that they can go there and get the links. Because if they then click on that link, they will be able to join.
Right. From my side, sorry, that's all I can say now. Unfortunately, if you're not registered for the My Life email account, there's no way you can receive communication from Dr. Mutin. Okay. And then it means that you need to, I don't think it's very late for them to actually can register that. They can do that as of today, if you're not registered on the My Life.
They can, but I will suggest if they did not receive that invite, that they go to this http tinyurl.com Florida UNISA, because the links and everything was posted on there as well.
All right. So if you can actually get successful with your My Life, then you had the prof. The tiny little HTTP UNISA Florida, that's where you can get the link there as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mish.
You're welcome. Any questions before I move on?
No.
No questions. People are so, I don't know. Do you guys need a 2 to 3 minutes break? I just want to go to the bathroom quickly. Is it okay?
Sir,
Yes,
while you're going
yes,
to the bathroom, can you please go?
Sorry? Shall we all be back at 11:40? It's now
Sorry,
11:36.
sir.
Oh.
Sorry, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
While you're going to the bathroom, can you please leave your screen on those questions which were the multiple questions?
This screen.
No,
Yes.
no, the
let's
other one.
go to
The first
multiple
one.
questions. Yes.
Okay, I think you're looking for this, the multiple choice questions.
Yes.
Let's be looking for. This one.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. This is the one that you are. This is the one that you are looking for, right?
Yes.
Okay. Remember, the multiple
Thank
choice
you.
question is only on 2 and 4.
Yes.
Okay. I just want to go to my email quickly. I know it's going to disturb, but I just have to apologize in advance. Okay. Right. If you want to grab a coffee, you're more than welcome to do that. But let's be back at 11:40 or 41.
Alrighty.
Okay.
It's 11:37 already, though. Alright, let me turn off.
Students, is Dr. Maton here? Can I just have a feel, and you can talk to me now, What do you think about these sessions for you, online sessions? Anybody that want to tell me?
Hi, doctor.
Yes.
Yes, the sessions are very helpful, but the problem is that they are held during the day and some of us are working.
You see, it all depends when the tutor is available as well. That's number one. The other one is number two, is that's why we record these sessions so that it can be sent to students. So after these sessions, we will send it to the lecturer immediately and he will send it to all of you so that you can use it.
Oh, that would be helpful.
That will be very helpful, I know.
Okay, thank you, doctor.
Okay. Juliet, you want to ask a question?
Hello, everybody. I think you guys are back.
Yes, we are here, sir.
Okay, that's fine. Dr. Mutton, can you hear me? Dr. Mutton? Is Dr. Mutton there?
No.
Hello? Ladok. Dr. Mouton. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Listen, we're going to tackle question 1 here for the asset realization. Can you all see it? It's on page. Okay, it's fine. Make to something. Make a confirmation from you about something. Because I'm. Okay, sure. All right. All right, let's carry on while we're still waiting for Dr. Morton. I hope everybody has Tab 102, right?
Yes.
Right. Let's all turn to page 5. Can you all see that?
Page 5.
Yes.
Page 5 of that chart.
Yes.
Okay, let's have a look at that. I'm gonna ask you guys not to look at the solution, and I need you guys to actually participate on this question. Exactly. I beg your pardon?
Hello.
Hello?
So where do we find this? Where do we find this 102?
So tutorial
This
letter.
document that's on the screen?
It's a tutorial letter.
Oh, okay.
Look, if you don't have the hard
Okay,
copy,
nice.
it should be under your MyUnisa.
Okay, it's fine. I'll check it now. Thank you.
All right. And let's hope everybody it's actually there.
So what are we supposed to do now?
We're doing this question.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we are doing this question.
All right.
So if you can look at this question, it's more similar to that one because we're doing the same thing except the cost of the assets, right? So we're doing the accumulated depreciation is there and the realization and the
So
depreciation.
we're supposed to do the leisure accounts.
We're doing much as what we. Let me tell you something. I'm not going to go back to this kind of a question. That's why I'm doing 2 of them today. I can only go back to this kind of questions if there is a question from you as students. Okay. Okay. So don't expect this kind of a question to come up in the future or in this week, unless if you do have an individual question that you don't understand and then you need clarity on. That's where I can actually go back on it.
Okay.
Right, looking at the required there, okay, the year end is important, 28 February 2020, and then they want the vehicle at cost and the equipment at cost and the accumulated depreciation for both vehicles as well as the equipment. And they want the realization account and the depreciation account. I'm still going to emphasize your E part. It's actually, when they want the realization, you must just know there was one of the assets that has been disposed, or probably all of them, they have been disposed and they want us to do the realization account.
Yes.
So they want us to actually testify that we sold an asset with a profit or with a loss.
Or a loss.
That's as easy as that. Okay. Let me give you a bit of an advice. If you get this kind of questions, they're likely to come up in the multiple choice, just to be honest with you.
Okay.
To be frank with you. Right. Here is the thing. When you deal with the realization account, because you'll be looking at the exact answer as it's a multiple choice question. It's important for you to know that what goes under the T account when you're doing the realization account, and then you will be done.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And the second thing would be, if my debit is greater than my credit, then you're running at a loss. If my credit is greater than the debit, then you're running at a profit, and that's it.
Profit.
So the other question can come up and say, if you made a loss or if you made a profit, where do you disclose that? Okay, they'll give you a list of the side of the financial statements. They'll tell you income statement, balance sheet, equity statement, whatever, and then you'd know it's a loss, it's an income. It will go through
income
to
statement.
yes, income statement.
Yes.
All right. My year end is 28 February 2002, meaning that the beginning would be the 1st of March 2001, right? It shows there under your balances. Right. Looking at the top, it says that the following information was extracted from the accounting records of Double S Supermarket, balance at the beginning of the year, which have got vehicle at cost, It's 28,000 rand, equipment at cost of 2,800 rand. And then we've got the accumulated depreciation for vehicles, 14,268. And then for the equipment, it's 543. Okay, so look at the additional information number 2. The following transaction in respect to the non-current asset took place during the year. And then on the 31st of August 2001, Double S Supermarket sold delivery vehicle to Mrs. Peterson for 7,000 rand cash. Okay, sorry, 7,200 rand cash. My apologies for that. Right, the proceeds from this sales transaction was used to help finance the purchase of another vehicle on the same date from Cape Motors Limited for 22,000 rand cash. Okay, this is how an accounting student think. When you sell an asset for lower than the asset you're gonna purchase, you need to, that's why you need to think of the box. Okay, I've received 7,200 rand, but at the same time, on the other scale of things, I'm actually spending 22,000 rand cash, which is greater than what you have received. Well, then that's fine. Let's look at it. Further says that the cost price of the vehicle was sold. Sorry, the cost price of the vehicle sold was an amount of 12,000 rand, and its accumulated depreciation amounted to 6,455 at the beginning of the year, which is the 1st of March. Okay. Looking at 2.2 says that on the 28th of February, this is your year end. Don't make mistake with the dates.
Yes, yes,
On the
yes.
28th of February 2002, Double S Supermarket sold used printer to Mr. Moon for 720 rand cash. The cost price of the printer was 900 rand, and its accumulated depreciation amounted to 164 at the beginning of the year. Right. Sale took place at the end of the year, but the original purchase took place at the beginning of the year, which is the 1st of March 2001. Can you see? Nonetheless, we had printers, but we've decided to actually sell one of the printers. We had vehicles. We've decided to sell one of the vehicles. Can you see that? But
Yes.
looking at the information or additional information number 3, depreciation, they say that depreciation is provided as follows. It's 20% per annum on the diminishing balance method. And then equipment is 10% per annum on the diminishing balance method. And they are further mentioning that the financial year commences on the 1st of March. Of course, it has to commence on the 1st of March because the year end is 28 February. Even if they didn't tell you that it commences when, you should know because you're given the year end. Okay, one more thing that you need to learn about the depreciation. Sometimes they give you what's called the residual value. Okay, if you're given the residual value, whether the depreciation is on the cost or straight line, you need to deduct that. Take that into account as a minus, and then you go further by calculating your depreciation.
Okay.
Make sense? Other than that, you need to be very extra cautious when it comes to the date, because that's where the tricky part would come. Calculation.
It's true.
Okay, so I hate to confess this. I know I'm not a lecturer for this, but it's very rare that you'd get a question without a depreciation. There's no way. Otherwise, that's actually not it. Can you see on how am I preferring? I'm giving you bigger muscles to prepare for this exam. You should have an idea as to, okay, the depreciation part would be there. Whether it's going to come into what kind of a method, I gave you that. Okay. Everybody happy?
Yes.
Okay. If you've got a pen and a page there, because my solution is actually a bit far. If you've got a pen and a page, I'm going to ask you to actually take the pen out and then we do calculations. I'm going to tell you what to write down and then you just follow my instructions.
Already
Afterwards, you
started.
can compare that with this. The solution is just that in your tab.
Yes, it is.
Right. If you copy the information or the solution there, please, you need to acknowledge that that doesn't make you a wise student. You're actually cheating on yourself. Okay. If you're not aware of something, rather learn from that one or do it in teams.
Yes.
Okay. So if you're cheating, you're not robbing me. You're robbing yourself. You'll be the one be faced up with the exam, not me. Right. Let's look at the required part. The required part says that A, it's vehicle at cost, meaning that because one of the vehicle has been sold here, we need to adjust it. Okay, that's why they want you to do with the vehicle at cost. We need to adjust it and see how much will be the opening balance for the 1st of March 2002 going forward for the next financial period. Okay. Let's do the depreciation calculations. I hope everybody has a pen and a page, free page there. Right. Starting with the vehicle there, let's look at the depreciation on the vehicle is 20% per annum on the diminishing balance method. That's the first thing that you have to look at because you cannot calculate the depreciation without knowing the method in use.
Yes.
Right. Okay. And then, right. At the beginning of the year, we had a vehicle at a cost of 28,000 Rand. Okay. Let's look at the additional information number 2.1, where it talks about the sale of the delivery vehicle. Okay, 31st of August 2001, Double S Supermarket sold the delivery vehicle to Mrs. Pearson for 7,200 Rand. And the proceeds from this sales transaction was used to help finance the purchase of another vehicle on the same date from Cape Motors Limited for 22,000 Rand cash. The cost of the vehicle sold, it amounted to 12,000 Rand, and its accumulated depreciation amounted to 6,455. It's important to establish how much is the accumulated depreciation, simply because the method in use is the diminishing balance method. What does it say? Cost minus the accumulated depreciation.
Accumulated, yes.
Yeah. But here's the thing. You need to listen carefully. Sometimes they can give you the cost and they don't give you the accumulated depreciation. These are the two things that you need to be very considerate or careful of. Look at the date, because for you to establish the accumulated depreciation, it has to be way prior years before the current financial period. And then if you're given the cost in the current financial period, don't bother about the accumulated depreciation. You can just say, my accumulated depreciation is a nil. Okay, because it's not given. We don't have it. Okay, sometimes they just do it intentionally to test if you do understand the principle effectively. Make sense?
Yes.
Right. Let's start with the depreciation for the vehicle that has been sold. It was sold on the 31st of August, and the cost of it is 12,000 Rand. Can you see that on the additional information number 2.1? Well, then we're going to say 12,000, and then you minus your accumulated depreciation because the accumulated depreciation for the sold vehicle is 6,455. Can you see that?
Yes.
Well, in a way, if you can look at this, we're doing the PPE note, right? Because the cost minus your accumulated depreciation you carried was called the carrying amount.
The carrying value.
The carrying value. Thank you for that.
Yes.
So the carrying value at the beginning of the year would be 12,000 minus 6,455. Who can actually help me with the calculator quickly there?
It's 5,545.
5,005 is 5545. All right.
Yes.
0.00. That's actually your carrying amount. We haven't calculated the depreciation as yet. Right. Let's see. We had the car for how long?
When was it sold? Oh, okay. So we had it for 6 months.
We had it for 6 months, right? Starting from when?
Yes.
Starting from when?
From 1 March 20.1.
Up until the 31st of August, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you guys understand the principle behind sale and the principle behind purchase? Right. The principle behind sale is you're going to, please make sure that your phone is actually on silent. The vibration is disturbing me on the side.
Yeah.
The principle behind the sale is we no longer have the vehicle. Then we need to calculate the depreciation for the time we had, right? Yes. In this instance, we had it from the 1st of March 2001 up until the 31st of August. Right. And the principle behind the purchase is when did we purchase the vehicle and when is our year end? Okay. For example, we know that our year end is 28 February 2002. If this delivery vehicle was purchased as an addition, maybe from the 31st of August 2001, we were going to count from September, October, November, December, January, February. And then we would say 6 months divided by 12, starting from September, because it's the date that we have purchased it. So you need to be careful around the principles of purchase and the principles of sales. Make sense?
Yes.
Right. You'd say 5545 multiplied by 20 divided by 100, and then you multiply that by 6 divided by 12. How much are you getting?
554.
554.
554.
Can you please repeat that, sir?
Right, 5545 multiplied by 20 divided by 100, and then you multiply by 6, you divide it by 12. What's the final output there?
It's 554.5. Rounding it off, it will be 555.
555.
Yes.
Okay, well then that's fine. And then remember this, when I told you that the accumulated depreciation from the previous year, including the depreciation in the current year, is going to be a total accumulated depreciation at the end of the year, meaning that we need to know how much is the accumulated depreciation up until the date of the sale for the vehicle, right? So remember we had that one in the beginning, which is 6455, and then you're going to plus it with 554.50, or you can plus 5 or 12, sorry. Can I check if Dr. Mutun is back?
Yes.
Hi, Dr. Mutun.
Yes.
All right. Can I give them an extra 30 minutes? Am I allowed to do that because I was late?
Yeah, no, it's fine. You can, as long as you use your 2 hours.
I beg your pardon?
As long as you use your 2 hours.
Okay, no, that's fine. I had somebody before I go on a break saying that, hey, it's already late and stuff like that. So you've got your 30 minutes that I've wasted on, and it's back now. It's recovered.
You can continue for the next 30 minutes.
All right, no problem.
Thank you.
Right, then that makes your total accumulated depreciation to be what? 7009 or 7010 if you round it off.
Yes.
Right? Cool. Then let's have the depreciation for the remaining vehicle. Remember, one of the vehicle has been sold. There were vehicles that remained. You agree with that?
Yes.
How do you determine what has remained? Meaning that you're going to take the original cost of the total vehicles and then you minus the 12,000 rand because it's moved out. Okay. Somebody quickly help me. How much is 28,000 minus 12,000 rand?
16,000.
16,000 rand. That would be
Yes.
our existing vehicles. Okay. Then let's have the accumulated depreciation. It will be the same. It will be treated the same. So you're going to say the accumulated of 14,268. Can you see that? Then you minus 6445. Right. So the disposal has gone with the accumulated depreciation for that asset. So it's 14,268 minus 6455. How much are you getting?
7813.
7813. And then depreciation would be? Sorry, let's get to the carrying value. My apologies for that. How much is the carrying value? Can somebody help me quickly? I don't have my calculator here. I depend on you, please. How much are you getting on the carrying value? Okay, let me just quickly use my phone. Please, if you've got it, help me out. And you minus your 7813. My carrying value gives me 8187. Did everybody get that?
Yes.
Right. Because the remainder, the existing of the vehicles, they've lasted for full 12 months. So we don't have to apportion it with 6 divided by 12. It will just be multiplied by 20 divided by 100 straight away. Happy?
Yes.
Okay. Then you multiply that by 20, you divide it by 100. And my depreciation is 1637,4. Okay. You decide whether you want to round it off or depending on what they say on the question there. Right. There was another vehicle that was purchased. Can you see that with an amount of 22,000 rand? Okay, we need to account the depreciation for that purchase as well. We can't just leave it out. Otherwise,
Yes.
we'll be performing the wrong financials. And then what do? Okay, can you see that the what I've just elaborated before to say that the principle of sale and the principle of the purchase. So the sale, we're looking at the date when was it purchased and the date when was it sold. And the principles of purchase, we're looking at when was it purchased and then for how long is it going to last, which is going to be up until the year end. Okay. So on the 31st of August, that's when the purchase took place. But the 31st of August is actually at the end of the month. We cannot account for that. What we're going to do is we'll start from the 1st of September, and then we're going to end things on the 28th of February 2008. Right. So if it gives you 6 months before when you make the sale, then obviously the remainder would be 6 months because it will start from the 1st of September 2001 and it will end on the 28th of February 2002. Right.
Yes.
And they say that we need to use the diminishing balance method here. Is there any accumulated depreciation with this motor vehicle? Exactly.
No.
Then you would say 22,000 rent and then you minus 0. Accumulated depreciation is a 0. Then you multiply that by 20%. And then you multiply that by 6. You divide it 12.
Yes.
Everybody clear? I got 2.2 as my final answer for the depreciation.
Yes.
Silence means consent. Silence means consent. Any clarity that you guys need? Everybody happy? Okay, you'll have your own time when you get home and do the practice and stuff like that. Before we continue tomorrow, you can ask me that question that you have based on the PPE or the realization or the depreciation or whatever, and then we'll clarify that. Like I said, there's no way I can go back to the full question on this. Right, let's look at the equipment. I think so far we are done with the vehicle, right? So far we are done with the vehicle. And let's have a look at the 2.2, which says on the 28th of February 2002, S Supermarket sold a printer to Mr. Moon for 720. The cost price of the printer was 900,000 rand. The accumulated depreciation of the printer amounted to 164 on the 1st of March. Listen here. If you can look at these transactions, they say equipment. They don't say equipment. But the transaction itself tells that there was more than one equipment. Why am I saying that? Because if you look at the initial cost price of this printer, it's actually way lower than the original cost of 2.8. Okay, so the same principle would apply in here to say, would I have an existing asset or the equipment? Yes, because if you take 2.8 and you minus that with 900 rand, that means you're going to have the remaining equipment as your assets.
Yes.
So if we can look at transaction 2.1 and 2.2, they're actually the same. It's just that here, the only difference is the date. And on the first transaction, we made an addition with regards to another vehicle as a purchase.
Yeah.
But on the second transaction, we didn't buy any
There's
equipment.
no additions.
Can you see that? Right. The same principle would actually apply. So they say that the method for the equipment is 10% on the diminishing balance method. We know it's cost minus the accumulated depreciation. So in this instance, you're going to say 900 minus 164. And then you multiply that by 10. Right. Quickly, somebody can help me. Do we apportion the months here or we take it straight full 12 months?
12 months.
Sorry? It's full 12 months, right?
Yes.
It's full 12 months.
Yes.
Do you agree? Okay. Then how much is 900 minus 164? Okay, I'm going to ask you to switch off your radio, please, or your TV. Can somebody please behave? Thank you. Right, I've got the carrying amount of 736. Do you all get that?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, can I multiply that by 10 straight away divided by 100?
Yes.
Okay, that means my depreciation will be 73.6, or you can round it off to 74. Okay.
74.
So let's determine what's left out of what we have sold, which is 2,800 rand, and then you minus the original cost of 900 rand. How much is the difference? I think it's 1.9, right?
1,900.
Yes, that would left us with what's left out of the equipment that we have sold. Okay, the same principle would apply. We had the original accumulated depreciation for the equipment, and then we had the accumulated depreciation for the sold equipment. It has to be adjusted. So what you do is, it's a 543 minus 164.
64.
Then
379.
Sorry, 600. I've got 379.
379.
Okay, that's my adjusted accumulated depreciation.
Yes.
And then when you adjust it further with the carrying amount, you get 1521.00. Okay, so I think you're going to straighten up as well. And then you go 1521 multiplied by 10, and then you divide it by 100. Then you get your full depreciation. Then it's how much? 1521 multiplied by 10 divided by 100. I've got 152.10.
0.1.
You got that, right?
Yes.
So total depreciation for the existing and the equipment sold is 152.10. And then that we've got the sold one for 73 rand 60 cents. Okay. You add them together, you get an amount of 225.70.
Yes.
Make sense? Does it make sense?
Yes, it does.
Right. So disclosure, it works in this way. Accumulated depreciation, we know it goes to your note. PPE, you're going to look, is it at the beginning or is it at the end? Then you know that the depreciation would go both ways. Your PPE note as well as your profit and loss statements. Okay. What you have to do is you do what's called addition of the entire depreciation. And then you put them in the middle of the format. Okay. And then what you're going to do is the accumulated depreciation at the beginning, you add them together with the depreciation in the middle of the format, and then you put it as total accumulated depreciation at the end of the financial period. Okay, and then you get the new carrying amount. I've got one question though before I carry forward. Why do you think it's necessary to do the property, plant, and equipment note? Why is it important for you to actually format that as part of your questions? Not quite exactly sure, right? Let me tell you, this is how you have to do things going forward, particularly students that they would be measuring in accounting. When you put down financial statement, you need to understand why are you doing that, okay? First and foremost, when you do the income statement, you need to determine whether you're running at a profit or you're running at a loss, okay? Because that helps the shareholders too and decide as to whether they're going to distribute what's called dividends or not. And when you do the PPE note, the main purpose of it is to determine how much is the carrying value of your asset at the end of the period. We're not interested in what you did. That's why they don't want what's called the total figure. Right, here's how you're going to structure your things. You're going to have a column for the building, you're going to have a column for the land, you're going to have a column for the equipment. The carrying amount at the 28th of February 2002, the total of it, based on those different columns, is what we are interested at. Why? Because as soon as you get that figure, you're going to transfer it under your statement of financial position. That's why you've got that line item that says property, plant, and equipment. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. You do your PPE note. For example, if the question says, okay, how much is the property, plant, and equipment? Based on this question, they can still say that. How much is the property, plant, and equipment? And they say 15 marks as your multiple choice question. Remember, they're looking for the exact amount. You don't get it right, you are out. And they can ask you that. Okay. What you have to do is when they say how much is the property, plant, and equipment, quickly, you need to format your PPE note on a paper. Take your pen and a paper and do calculations for the PPE note. Your carrying value, it will be the one. Carrying value at the end of the period, it will be the one transferred through to your property, plant, and equipment under your statement of financial position. That's your balance sheet item. That's the whole reason, or that's the whole reason behind why we're doing the PPE. Okay, and then determines what? How much a net asset worth at the end of the period. Okay, so that helps the firms in terms of if you're going through what's called the liquidations and stuff like that, you'd know, okay, how much am I owing my suppliers? How much are the equities? How much are the assets? They're going to look at those kind of things. Right, but put in the PPE there, you want to know how much does my PPE worth at the end of the financial period. And that's it. Now you know, right? Right, please drop the vehicle T account for the vehicle for me. And then you do the T account for the equipment, and then you do the T account for the accumulated depreciation on both the vehicle and the equipment. And stop there. Right, now we applying the principles with regards to our asset, our expenses, our liabilities, and our equities, if there are any. Right, but pretty much as I'm aware of, you've got a lot of expenses as well as the assets. Right, basics, let's go to the basics. The basics says that the principle of basic account equation says that your assets increases on the debit side and they decreases on the credit side. Sure, you've got the basics, but the bigger question would be, what would increase my asset and what would decrease my asset? Those are the questions that should run around your brains. Okay. For example, what would increase my asset would be when I buy assets, the asset would increase. Okay. And then what would decrease my asset? The sale of an asset would decrease my asset because it's moving out or stepping out of the business. Happy?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Right, and my balance brought down for the vehicle, it will be 28,000 Rand. Okay, please don't forget to put the date there. Obviously, it's going to be the first. So it's going to go to the debit side simply because of that principle. Asset increases on the debit side. Okay, remember, we bought an asset during the current financial year with an amount of 22,000 Rand. You remember that?
Yes. Yes.
But here's the thing. When you do, I think it's on topic E, we're still going to do that someone Thursday or Friday. We're dealing with what's called the incomplete record. The incomplete record says is the opposite of what we call the double entry system. Okay? Because in accounting, there's no way you can work with one leg. Okay. So it's always important to actually can establish, if I put this as my first leg, what will be my second leg? And your second leg is always called what's called the contra account allocation. Right. What I'm trying to say is you can't just buy an asset and put the T account as, okay, I bought the asset and that's it. How did you buy the asset? Was it purchased by cash? Was it purchased by the liabilities, which is the creditors, or the high purchase, which is an installment? Something like that. Okay. All right. You would know that immediately when you buy a certain asset, that asset would increase. It would come to the debit side as per principles. But my contra allocation account would be my bank. The money is moved out of the business because I bought you cash. Happy?
Yes.
And I'm going to go back again. If I buy the asset on a credit, sharp, it's going to go to the debit side because it's increasing, it's coming to the business. And then you bought it on credit. And what is my contra allocation account? It's my trade payables, my creditors, because I owe them who have agreed to be obliged in paying the installment on a monthly basis. Can you see the two legs are moving together?
Yeah.
Okay. If you put asset as a vehicle and then you don't put the second leg, then that's what we call the incomplete accounting records. Everybody happy? Right, we bought the vehicle. That's why you see the bank there because the money stepped out of the business. It's going to be on the debit side, and you put bank with 22,000 rand. And then obviously we're going to look at, is there anything that we can add under your vehicle? No, the total will be 50,000 rand. All right, but here's the thing. On the debit side, we're going to have what's called realization account. But why are we having the realization account on the credit side? Because the vehicle has moved out of the business. Okay, that's what it's called, the reduction of an asset. Okay, then you're going to have the realization account because of the vehicle has been disposed with an amount of how much? 12,000 rand.
12,000.
Okay, your balance carried down would be 38,000 rand. That is the difference between 50 and 12. And then you close it off. Then your opening balance, that means you're going to do what's called the cross-reference. Your balance carried down is going to be moved to the debit side with an amount of 38,000. Okay.
Yes.
And then on that balance brought down is going to be the opening balance on the 1st of March 2002. Okay, meaning that if we continue with our books for the next financial period, we're going to have that as our opening balance. Happy?
Yes.
All right, we're going to move on now. Same applies to the equipment. We had the cost of 2,800. That's your opening balance. It's going to go to the debit side. For the same reason, it's an asset. Asset increases on the debit side. However, we've sold one of the equipment, then it will go to as a realization account on the credit side with an amount of how much? 900 rand. That's what we sold the printer. Sorry, that's what the cost of the printers. Sorry, it has costed us. So your balance carried down will be 2.8 minus 900 rand, and then you're going to have an amount of 1.9 as your balance carried down. The same principle would apply with your cross-reference. You're going to move your 1.9 on the 1st of March 2002 on the debit side. Can you see that we're moving it from the credit side to the debit side?
Yes.
Cross-reference in that. Your total balance will be 2.8 on both sides, the credit, the debit, and the credit. Happy?
Yes.
Accumulated depreciation. Let's start with the vehicle. Okay. Right. You're going to have the balance brought down for the vehicle. It's how much? 14,268. It's on the credit side.
Yes.
Okay. And why is it on the credit side? It's a deductible amount. It helps us to get the carrying amount from the cost. So basically, you would say, what is it? Your cost of an asset and you minus your accumulated depreciation, it will give you the carrying value. Okay. But here's the bigger question. Where do you think your accumulated depreciation would feature in terms of your asset, your liabilities, as well as your equity? It's nowhere to be found, right? Right. No, it's nowhere to be found in there. But what we know is it's a deductible amount to get the carrying amount. Okay. It doesn't have the clear principal factor as to why is it on the debit side, why is it on the credit side. Okay. But what you know is it's a reduction value towards the cost of the vehicle. You know that when you buy an asset, the vehicles and all it depreciate, right? That's the whole reason behind that. Okay. Round about, I don't think we'll finish up this question here, but round about 25 past, I just want to explain the principle of BAE because I know students struggle with that. And then I'm going to make it much more easier for you. Okay. Right. We had the depreciation. You remember the depreciation that we have calculated, 554.50 and 3837.40. They're going to come to the debit side. And then you're going to realize that. Remember, the disposal of the vehicle has taken place. So the realization of it would come to the debit side. Okay. So when the asset was disposed, we had the cost and the accumulated depreciation for that disposal. That's why we have to recognize the realization under your accumulated depreciation. Okay. The balance carried out would be the total would be 18,659.90, and then you minus your 7,009.50, and then you get your carry down of 11,650 to balance it off. Okay, And then you cross-reference it again, the 11650, and then you put it on the credit side because the balance brought down for the next cycle or the next accounting cycle, it will be on the credit side as a continuous thing. Okay. All right, just to be short and concise, the accumulated depreciation for the equipment, it would be the same. Balance brought down would be on the debit side, and the same process would be followed for the equipment and the vehicle. Okay, I just want to quickly run out to the realization account. Right, depreciation account, you remember the depreciation account that I did with you? I haven't shown the profit and loss account that it should come to the credit because the depreciation account is an expense that will be deductible when you do the profit and loss statement. You remember that? But when you look up at the solution, they're showing you that the contra allocation account is the accumulated depreciation, and then the total figure, it will be going to the debit side as your profit and loss. And why is it going to the debit side? Because it's going to be a deductible expense. Okay, it just shows that you need to move it from the T account to, when you do the profit and loss statement, it's actually how it's going to appear. Right, but not many of you might not realize that we are actually tracking what's called the financial statements in here. We did what's called the balance sheet. We did what's called the income statement. However, we did not do what's called the statement of changes in equity. It's one of the easiest things. I'll tip you when I do. Sorry, when I explain the BAE at 25 past or 26 past. Looking at the realization account, okay, remember, we do that simply because we need to determine how much is the profit and how much is the loss. Okay, that's the reason why we obtain that. Okay, the derivation of that comes from the issue that there was a disposal. Okay, the firm would be interested as to, are we selling at a profit? Are we selling at a loss?
Or at a
So the
loss.
same principle actually apply. Did we sell the vehicle or did you sell one of the vehicle? Yes. How much was the cost of it?
12,000.
Okay. Because the realization account is actually the inverse of the cost of an asset itself, you'd see that the vehicle at cost, it will come to the debit side because it's no longer there. But we are reversing it. Can you see that? We're moving it back. Because the T account that we're doing now is differently to the total, sort of the T account of the asset that we did before, right? And we're going to look at the accumulated depreciation for the sold vehicle. So we had 7009, and then we go to
Yes.
okay. And we had 7.2 for what we've sold. It's what we've cashed in when we sell the vehicle to Mrs. Peterson. Right. When I wanted to explain what goes into your realization account, this is the perfect example. When you get home, don't cram it, understand it. But there's no way you can have any other information that is more than what you have under that solution for your realization account. Check what goes in there and what doesn't go there. Because financial accounting is a principal content. You need to give the reason as to your background. Why am I moving this on the debit and why am I moving this on the credit? But what goes as part of the solution on the realization account, it's sufficient enough not to can add, but it can minus. Happy?
Yes.
Anybody with a question? Right, this is what I wanted to explain with regards to the basic account equation. We've got your asset equal to equity plus liability. You need to listen very, very carefully there. Okay.
Can't hear you properly.
A lot of students never understood or they never understand the basic principle of how important the asset equal to equity and liability.
Just liabilities.
What does that mean? Right. What does that mean and what does that mean and why is that important? It is important because it leads us to can consolidate the entire financial statement. Okay. Believe it or not, your statement of the statement of changes in equity, it's featured under your BAE, or the asset equal to equity and liability. The statement of financial position is there. Equity statement is there. The profit and loss, it's there. And then how is it there? And then your PPE note, it's actually there. Can you see that the entire side is actually combined or consolidated there? Let me explain that why. Your asset, it's there, framed under your non-current asset as well as your current asset, which is the asset, okay? Which is the A. You remember the A equal to L plus E, or E plus L. So the A, it contained your non-current asset as well as your current assets. Okay, starting from the property, plant, and equipment. Let me tell you why the PPE features there. You remember when I said that you need to determine how much is the carrying amount at the end of the period? Because that carrying amount at the end of the period is what you're going to move to your property, plant, and equipment when you do the statement of financial position. Can you see on how it features under the A? Good. Let's move to the equity part. Okay, the equity part, it says that you need to do what's called the statement of changes in equity. And then in your content is one of the easiest way to derive that. Okay, how so? What you need in there, you need what's called the capital, you need what's called the profit, or you need what's called the loss. Okay, and then you need what's called again the drawings, and then you are done. Okay, then you're going to have equity at the end of the financial period. But how do you get the net loss or the net profit? Meaning that you need to do the statement of profit OCR.
Yes.
Everybody happy there?
Yes.
Right. And it further says that your income increases your equity. Why and how are they saying that? Is because the net profit increases your equity, but the net loss decreases your equity, meaning that the expenses decreases your equity, because if your expenses are greater than your incomes, it means that your business is running at a loss.
Yes.
Can you see the feature around there? Right. Let's have a look at the liability there. Liability, you're going to have what's called the non-current liability, and then you're going to have what's called the current liabilities. Sure. Your current liabilities, it's the one that has the bigger impact as compared to your non-current liabilities. Because you guys, let's be honest, you are dealing with what's called the long-term loan. In most cases, that's your non-current liability. Okay. I'm going to set one of the examples in there, or one of the questions there with regards to the non-current liabilities. It's easy. You just shorten it. You put the entire amount of your, or your, sorry, if they give you, let's say, for example, long-term loan payable after 6 years, all right, long-term loan, you'd see it, sometimes they don't say long-term loan. Sometimes they say, just say a Putty Limited acquired loan at ABSA, which is repayable after 6 months, which is repayable on a biannual basis for a period of 10 years, right? For the effect that my payment exceed more than 1 year, that makes it a long-term loan. They don't have to state that it's a long-term loan. The term itself tells you that it's a long-term loan.
Yes.
Okay. Obviously, they're going to feature what's called the interest percentage on that, and then the biannual, the quarter annual, or the monthly thing would also feature in that. In what way? You're going to say whatever the amount of the loan, and then you multiply that by the interest given, and then if you have to apportion it, if it's a biannual, you would say 60 divided by 12. It's a monthly thing. You're going to look at when did that loan took place? When did I obtain that loan? And then you count the months, and then you divide that by 12. Right. But here's the thing. If the loan is 50,000 Rand, and then you paid installment in 2020 for an amount of, let's say, 5,000 Rand, you are going to have what's called long-term loan with an amount of 45,000 Rand. And then for the 5,000 Rand that you have paid, it's going to be called, under the current liabilities, a short-term portion of the long-term loan. And then you put 5,000 Rand. Okay. Which is fine, because we're going to deal with what are the accrued, what are the income received in advance, what are the prepayments, and what are the accrued expenses. Accrued income, accrued, those things. We're going to have a look at that. Right. So that brings us to the end of the journey. Let me give you unpack what's going to happen tomorrow between me and you. Okay. First thing first, let me first apologize again. And secondly, I promise you, I'm not going to be late. It was raining today. There was a traffic on the road. That is why I was actually late. Okay, so I drive all the way from Pretoria to Johannesburg. So it was heavily raining in Pretoria this morning. Right, so tomorrow we'll meet again at 10 o'clock. We're going to feature trade and other receivables control account. That's your debtors. We're going to feature trade payables control account. That's your creditors, right? A little bit of the long-term loan, and then we're going to associate ourselves with those accrued and the prepayments and the income received in advance, and a little bit of inventory, okay? And we're going to do what's called the VAT input and the VAT output. You heard that, right?
Yes.
And if we didn't finish that work tomorrow, we still have Thursday. Sorry, we still have Wednesday. And then if we didn't finish on Wednesday, we still have Thursday. And we're going to have Friday as well. So, but I promise you, Friday will be the last day when we deal with topic E. The entire topic E, we might start with it on Thursday to Friday. Okay. Items like your membership fees account, your entrance account, the statement of receipts and payments, the income and expenditure account, the trading account, the fund accounts, and so forth. Right. So try by all means to spice it a bit. I'm going to create my own little theoretical questions because it's not always the case where you're going to get calculated questions in the exam. Okay. Don't forget, we're going to deal more with the issue of the debit and credit, and then we apply the double entry system as well, and then we apply the BAE. So we're going to integrate that when we do more and more of the questions. Okay. Is there anything else that you guys want to know today? Anything else that you guys want to know? Please do not be scared. You can ask me. Right. Till we meet again. Have a great day, guys. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. The problem is I've joined the class very late. I'm currently in a foreign country, so connecting was a problem. Anywho, I wanted to ask, will I be able to get this video online maybe? So as I
yes,
can
you will.
up?
Yes, you will definitely get it online. Dr. Morton confirmed that it will be available to every student. They're going to load it for you.
Yeah, all right, thank you.
Yeah. So please do catch up with that. I'm not sure what time are they going to load it, whether it's going to be today or tomorrow or what, but I think that's the team that is responsible for that.
All right.
If I'm asked, what's the time in your country now?
It's 11:36. I'm in Nigeria.
Is it PM or AM?
AM.
Or
it's
AM?
Just 1 hour behind. Yes.
Oh, I see. So, but when you get the invite, you match with our time in South Africa.
Yes, I do.
Okay, no, it's fine. Hopefully tomorrow you will manage to make it on time. We meet in the same time, same place, which is 10 a.m.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for being part of our class. And then we'll meet tomorrow. Okay. Dr. Morton?
Yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm here.
Okay. I think everybody else is gone. Are you listening from the office or are you listening from home?
I'm listening from home.
Ah.
But I will call you just now.
You'll call me?
Yes, I will call you.
All right. Let me see. I think the office is having a different number. Can you confirm the number that you have for me? Just to, because I think that
Greg gave me your cell phone number. It's fine. I will call you on your cell.
The 076 number.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm afraid they might have given you the number that I'm using on WhatsApp, but it's not active for calls. That's why I'm asking you that.
It's okay. I'll get out to you.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much.